Hello, I'm Greg Gilles, the editor of Unquote, and I'm here tonight in Cannes at the IPEM conference. It is a pleasure for me to have Helen, a partner and head of the European investment team at Pantheon, with me today. Thank you very much, Helen, for coming to talk to us all things LP related, primary, secondaries, and we can even talk about co-investment.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to ask you on the primary side, perhaps, where do you see the most interesting opportunities in the European market at the moment?
Well, first of all, it's a great pleasure as well for me to be here. Thank you very much for the time you've taken to prepare the interview. So I think there's a lot of really interesting opportunities actually in the European mid-market. Maybe not in some of the places you might immediately expect, okay. But I think anywhere where there's a little bit of dislocation, things happening in the market, maybe the sector-focused funds could be an interesting place to start to look.
First-time funds, is that something that you keep an eye on at Pantheon, or do you tend to wait for a little bit of track record to build up before? Mind you, first-time funds, when I talk about people that have been in various ventures before, so it's always never a first-time team, is it?
Exactly. So I think we do invest in first-time funds, and we've done that actually sort of fairly consistently over our history, but we don't invest with first-time investors. Okay. And I think first-time funds have a lot of advantages actually, because they're not weighed down by the old portfolio, so they tend to have a little bit more time. On the other hand, they've got to build the team. There's a lot of practical issues just putting a new fund management group together, and actually not having a past portfolio can actually not be helpful as well, because they don't have sort of some of the natural interaction with intermediaries. But by and large, we're very open-minded, and we do enjoy seeing new managers coming into the market because it's helping to renew the ecosystem.
If we look at the secondary side, which I know obviously is a key interest for Pantheon as well, what have been the key things that you've been looking at in recent months, and what gets a lot of traction with your own investors?
Yeah, sure. The secondary market is very interesting at the moment. We tend not to invest in the very big portfolios. We're much more sort of rifle shot. Because of our big platform in primaries, and we manage close to $20 billion in primaries across the world. We've got a lot of information into GPs and the funds that they manage. So we tend to almost target really the types of funds that we want to buy. When we see them coming up within portfolios, we'll try and take them out of the portfolio. And actually it's where really the synergies come in of having your primary, your secondary and your co-investment platform. So we've been quite successful in doing that.
And I imagine avoiding the big portfolios as well might be a way to sidestep. From what we've seen, pricing on the secondary side is starting to creep up a lot as well, especially for the big brands and stuff like that. So I imagine that helps, having that knowledge of the market and being able to map out where the opportunities are.
Absolutely. And I would say on pricing, so yes, with a big portfolio you are paying the market price, and people end up having to put quite a bit of leverage on those portfolios to make the numbers work out. What I would say, our approach doing these very targeted funds, we can also look at individual funds where we know that valuations are quite conservative. So sort of the relationship between returns and discounts in the secondary market is all a bit tenuous actually. You would think the bigger discount that you pay, the better the returns, but actually it's all to do with the valuation methodology of the GP, and that is really
striking
key.
That balance between risk and reward opportunity.
Exactly, yeah.
And what would you say is the greatest challenge that you see facing the private equity industry, especially in Europe, for let's say 2019? It's very broad, so maybe you can choose one key thing in particular.
Very broad indeed. I mean, I think in general it's pretty obvious, but there's some big macroeconomic and political factors, not just in Europe actually, but US, US-China trade, but then in Europe as well, there are all sorts of political events happening in not just in the UK, but in other parts of Europe as well. So those present challenges, but the opposite side of challenge is opportunity. Yeah. So hopefully our best GPs will be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Of course. Well, thank you very much, Helen. It was a pleasure having you stop by at the conference. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the conference as well.
Thank you very much, Greg.
And thank you very much for watching.
It's great. Thank you.